So let's first look at the differences between online and offline. For those present right now, what would you say? Looking at the last couple of months, if you've been in recruitment processes and interviews, what are the main differences? How are online interviews different from offline interviews? What have been your observations and experiences? Okay, a couple of you are typing, so let's see. I'm interested. Limited body language, yes. Um, One person wrote, you cannot establish rapport during online interviews. Online is bad, they feel misjudged. What the interviewer sees depends on your lighting conditions and camera at your laptop. That is one of the impressions, yes. Online is more difficult to establish a relationship, empathy with the interviewer. There is the risk to have a cold interview. Here's one comment from Facebook. Empathy is greater online. The fact of not watching your camera makes them believe literally that you are not watching them. A bit more aggressive from the interviewer, especially if they're experienced personally. So you can see you have experienced the differences, and I have to say online interviews are much more difficult than offline interviews. So let's look at the differences. You don't have to travel to online interviews. Clothes, yes, but as one of my colleagues phrases it, the 30% until the Skype line, that's where you need to dress properly. There's no handshake, so this is part of building the rapport. There's no senses, there's no smell. There is not really the initial, what would you like to drink? How did you find the office? That small talk doesn't really exist. But we do have a first question. We do have standard questions, and we do have an ending. Now, because this big part at the beginning isn't there, a lot of candidates think, okay, if that's not there, I just turn on my laptop and go. Now, there's one comment here. I've tried dressing up on online meetings, but not a single interview is dressed up and they feel awkward. They should. Okay, what happens if a candidate has this approach, turn on and go? Candidates are very often late to online interviews because they can't log into a system. They need to install something last minute. The software needs updates. They can't find their headphones. They need to plug in the laptop to charge or the phone. They are often not using their own laptop, so they don't really know how it works, and then they often then ask for the presence of their children or partners to come and help them. They can't find the user on Skype. The microphone doesn't work. The video doesn't work. They have a bad internet connection. The candidate is not really seen well or heard well because there are no headphones, and then there is an echo. So what is the solution? And of what I've shared with you the last two slides, some of you know that Career Angels has been working online since 2013. And we see those when we talk to candidates on the job market in our first career consultations. Those things happen every single day. Although we do send them a preparation guide to say, make sure you have these things and test it, etc., people ignore it. So what is the solution? Create appropriate conditions, test everything you can, and please do not use your company resources. as a lot of employees have moved to home office with company laptops and company programs, they then use those resources to interview. And they then say, listen, I cannot install, I know that you want to speak with me on Skype, but I'm not allowed to install Skype on my company's resources. So I will send you from my company account an invitation so you can interview me. You see how this already sounds wrong, right? So preparing appropriate conditions. Question to all of you, which of these conditions are the best? What number? Thank you. Yes, it's 7. It is 7, but the majority of candidates look everything like but 7. And as you can see, when we took those photos a month ago, and you can see I have not yet been to the hairdresser in the meantime. So what happens, and some of you have pointed out 6 and 10, which is relatively similar, but the light comes from a different angle. So the ideal conditions here are 7. So how do you get to a 7? Let me show you how not to do it. Sitting in front of the window. Those are my favorites. Happens very often when I talk to candidates. Yeah, please don't do that. We don't see you. So then it's even harder to create rapport because as an interviewer, you don't want to spend the first 5 minutes to ask the person to move to a different place. It's sometimes awkward, etc., etc. So sitting in front of the window, no. Normal height. So when I talk down, no. Plus, it's the wrong lighting. Here I put the laptop on one box, it's a little bit better. Here I put the laptop on 2 boxes. If you're wondering, my laptop is now also on 2 boxes, so I have 2. For me, the ideal height is 2 toolboxes. For some, it might be 3 or 4 books or something. But again, the light is wrong. The light comes from the side window. Here it's the same, but a different angle, different sides. Here it would be kind of good, but I have distracting background, open door, open cupboard. So ideally you face toward the light and make sure the height is good. Then there are a lot of candidates who, for example, sit in an armchair, sit on a couch. I've had that a couple of times where somebody kind of speaks down to me because sitting on the couch, they put the laptop or whatever they're using on the couch table. So that's a no. Holding the phone at the bottom. Those are my favorite. When I can see the person barely can hold and it's all, please don't do that. Phone camera upside down. Phone selfie style. Landscape modes, no, please don't. Just no. So this is the ideal, the way I'm sitting now. I'm sitting in front of a window. There's a curtain that makes sure that the light is also equally distributed. Now, what you can also do, you can blur your backgrounds when you have Zoom or Skype. It's not possible with all the equipments. A blur background would look like this. If you have Zoom, you can then actually change your backgrounds. Now, what's important, and I had this in a panel discussion the other day, one of the panelists was very, well, there was a lot of movement and gestures and body language. What the person forgot that when you do that, the background option, the blurred background option, or the background in the background can't react it very quickly. So half the time that panelist looked like half the body was missing, which looked funny. That's how I'll leave it. So here you can, change background option. There's a website, zoomvirtualbackgrounds.com/browse. So best conditions, summarizing, make sure that the background is not distracting, camera placed at eye level so the person actually feels that you're talking to them. For me, this is about 2 toolboxes. Face toward the lights. From a technical point of view, 1 hour before the interview, log in, click, check if everything works. Usually there is a test video and audio settings. Please use headphones. Headphones increase the quality of the conversation by approximately 30%, and that is a lot. If you can choose, first, laptop is the best option when it comes to stability, then tablet, then phone. Make sure that you also prepare the plan B in case something doesn't work, and make sure you have a stable internet connection. Here is an example of my adapter that I use especially now for webinars or important calls to make sure that the connection is stable. With Skype, do the Skype test call. Important, which most forget, the display name is not the same as the username, is not the same as the email address that you have registered with. So here, for example, Mini Angel Marcelina is the display name, but the actual username is live:/Marcelina.Woroniak. This is the person behind webinar@careerangels.eu. Here, the display name is Mini Angel Mira, but the username is live:/cid.fch8309, etc., etc. Especially for users who have been using Skype for a long time, your email address can be associated with 2 or 3 different Skype accounts. How do you find that? You click on Skype and then you have the Skype name and the actual email address, and you always share the actual Skype name, and make sure you share the Skype name. So instead of turn on and go, make sure you prepare everything. And now some will ask me, because I did spend about 10 minutes on this, is it really that important? Does it really merit those 20 slides out of a webinar on online interviews? Yes, it does. Imagine that you are a recruiter who conducts 10 interviews per day, and 80% of the interviewed people present themselves in a bad way. So who will you remember? You will not focus on the content. You will remember the good ones. I mean, you will remember, oh, that's the lady with the underwear in the background, or that's the gentleman with the dirty dishes in the kitchen. It's not about the kitchen. We all know that not everybody has an office for every working family member or studying family member. And it is absolutely okay to interview sitting in the kitchen, but it's the background what they will remember. So I already said that they will associate you with the one with the dirty plates, the one with the messy room, the one who couldn't figure out how to turn around the Skype photo. Or here another one. What would you think of a candidate who is 50 plus who can't figure out how the camera works? But they do tell you, they assure you that they're up to date with technology. What would you think about a candidate who underlines multiple times that they focus on quality, that they are a good manager, that they're detail-oriented, and you see a mess in the background? So, of course, you don't have all these things in offline. In offline, you pay attention to the quality of the shoes, or if the fingernails are manicured more. But online, there are other things that we need to pay attention to, and those things can influence whether you continue into the next stages or not.
Hi, you have just watched a little fragment of all the know-how at Career Angels that goes into finding the best possible job. We have decided to put our know-how into one very thorough and structured course that is now available on Udemy. In that course, we will walk you through all 4 steps of the job hunting process. Step number 1 is about goal setting, realistic goal setting. We will explain career management theory backed by research, as well as walk you through the parameter bidding exercise. Step number 2 is about your unique selling proposition. In other words, how you position yourself on the current job market. Step number 3 is about communicating that in your CV, your CV for applicant tracking systems, and your optimized LinkedIn profile. Step number 4, the last step, is about managing and navigating the job hunting channels, meaning how to network, how to apply to job ads, how to contact headhunters, and how to contact and reach out to decision makers at the companies you would like to work for. So in summary, the course is very thorough, explains all our methodology, and is now available on Udemy. Summarizing, our course on Udemy walks you through the 4 steps of the job search process. Why did we decide to publish it? We did that so that your own job search becomes less frustrating, faster, and more effective. If you'd like to check it out, find the link down there in the description.